Hi, I'm Maxie McClintock. I'm an actress, and you are watching Then, Now, and Next. I grew up in Schweinfurt, Germany. My dad was in the military and we were stationed there for 2 terms. So I actually lived there for most of my adolescence. And as an adolescent, I played Barbies and I created my own world. My mom was obsessed at the time with watching the news because there was a war going on and my dad was always traveling. So I never got a chance to watch television. So me being like in a controlled environment where we did not have family members, we didn't have other places for me to escape, playing with those dolls and creating story, that to me was very intriguing. I didn't know that there was, I didn't even know, I mean, I knew that actresses and actors existed, but I didn't know that that could be a job for me. I feel like my mom was the original storyteller. She could tell a story like no other. Like she's not just about to tell you, oh, I went to work and such and such. No, 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 no. When such and such, when she walked in the room and she swayed, you know, we're gonna get every single layer of that story. And I inherited that, that same skill. And it blossomed. You know, when I graduated high school, I moved to the United States. I got a scholarship, a theater scholarship to Austin Peay State University in Tennessee. And I was able to really hone in on my craft there at Austin Peay. Just really figure out if I wanted to become an entertainer. And at first I thought it was just gonna be theater. I didn't think that being a television actor was something that I could do. I didn't know anyone who had done it. So it was an interesting adventure. When I graduated from college, me and my husband, we traveled to Atlanta to go to Six Flags, and he was my boyfriend at the time. So, you know, boyfriend, you know, we'd go on a trip, hit up Atlanta, and we stopped at this gas station, and I opened up this magazine, I read this article, and it said, if you want to work in film and television and you're a person of color, you need to get down to Atlanta, Georgia. At the time, the Black Family Network was here, as well as Tyler Perry Studio had kind of just started. And I was just like, oh my God, is this a sign? Oh Lord. And my husband at the time was just my boyfriend. And he was like, you know, I'm gonna move to Atlanta and I think that you should move with me. And I was like, oh my God, Lord, this dude, I don't want him to ruin my life or anything, but he was like, look, we could get married. And I was like, you know what? Okay. And we did. So we got married just right at the jump, and I started trying to find work. And it was interesting to say the least. At that time, Atlanta was really more of a day player market, maybe just little one-liners. I did know a couple of people that were successful in working. One of those people is my mentor, the late DaeRae Duke, and so I started training. I started training again. Again, I'd already trained at Austin Peay. I got a theater scholarship. I did, 4 years of training there to kind of get the foundation and base. And then I started doing additional training just to make sure that I didn't lose it. And then I started doing projects on nights and weekends, and it started to build. And about 4 years in, I was like, you know what, it's time for me to get an agent. I had done a whole bunch of independents, became the star of independents, just a lot. And once I got an agent, things really started to shift quickly. My first big break was Alvin and the Chipmunks. I played Alice in that franchise. And that was it was a big opportunity for me. One, because that is a part of my personal vision. Me as an actress, I always wanted to do wholesome content in some type of way. I didn't know how it was going to come to fruition. So booking Alvin and the Chipmunks was the first big major shift for me in that franchise. And then of course from there, I've worked on different television shows. I mean, I just did a movie, Trial by Fire, that was in theaters. I did Nappily Ever After. So I've been working, and I'm so happy that I made the decision to come to Atlanta. So now I am focused on producing as well as acting. Of course, acting is first. I'm auditioning every day. I am absolutely open to whatever God has for me. You know, open those doors, Lord. But I'm also producing. So producing is something that I added to my mix a couple of years ago. The first thing I produced was a short film called Soul Fire. Soul Fire won the 2017 Jack Daniels Reel to Reel program. We won at ABFF, and through that program, I was given a mentor. The mentor is Omari Hardwick, and Omari has the absolute best advice. And some of the advice he gave me was to continue to produce so that as my journey continues and as I build, that I can produce on bigger projects. So I'm absolutely going to continue to do that, as well as, again, acting. And this year, I am going to start election. I am working with 2020 with Michelle Obama, When We All Vote. So I'm working with that program. I am a voter registration leader. I have been, for years thinking about how I can contribute to our democracy. So to be involved in a program like this that is nonpartisan is very exciting for me. So, for me, doing that as well as acting, as well as, networking, and again, just seeing what God has for me. That's what I'm doing in 2020. So next, I am focused on my art. It's a life journey for me. When I started this journey, I remember when I was back in school, I had a teacher that said, "Is there anything else that you would like to do other than this? Because if so, go and do that." And there's absolutely nothing more that I would love to do than continue to do this. So each year I try to focus on something new when it comes to building my toolkit as an artist. Some years it's acting classes. Some years, one year it was accent work. Sometimes it's body. But again, just building in my own personal toolkit as an artist so that as I am cast in different projects, I have a full arsenal of things to bring to the table. So I'm going to continue to focus on that, continue to work with new people. I'm really interested in doing that. Producing, I was cast in a film called The Son of Sheba, where I play the Queen of Sheba. And I auditioned for that about 2 years ago, and we worked on the project. We went to Sundance. We came back from Sundance, and we worked on the project for 6 months. Worked on the script, worked on the accent, worked on my body, and we shot a proof of concept. So I came on as a producer on the back end of that project, and we are going to be working that project for 2020 and 2021. So I am hopeful that that will continue to build, and we see some good returns on that, and we can go and do the feature film on that project. But again, for me, I'm just focused on continuing to be a better artist, focused on my family, and I am hopeful for the future. You guys can follow me on Instagram, everywhere actually, at Maxie McClintock, MaxieMcclintock.